Alright, I think I'm about ready to start. Good morning, everybody. I just thought I'd paint a little bit of a springtime picture. It's going to be a bird's nest. I'm going to throw a couple of little robin eggs in it at the very end. Paints that I'm using: burnt sienna. I've also added burnt umber to my palette, sap green, ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, cad yellow light, alizarin crimson, and white. Yellow ochre out right there. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to start with my darker colors, and basically it's just kind of map out a little circle here, taking some burnt umber, and I'll dip into some burnt sienna. I like to do what I call paint hopping. Get some different colors in there. A little ultramarine blue, keeping it nice and dark, especially in this middle section right here. A little more burnt sienna. I'm just using a round bristle brush. This is a 6x6 canvas, so I don't need anything incredibly large, but I still want to use something large enough that I'm able to just very quickly cover my my canvas. I decided not to tone it because I'm going to be using a lot of Q-tips to bring out the light colors in the nest. It's going to be the center. This is the edges built up, and then we'll probably see part of the underside of the nest. So I'm going to take a little burnt sienna and ultramarine blue and just kind of put a little bit of a shadow color down there. And then I want to start thinking about my background as I'm going into it. So I'm going to dip back into the burnt sienna. Oh, there goes my paper. Technical difficulties. Let me take that up. That'll just give you guys a chance to get caught up if you're following along with your paint. So again, if you're wanting to paint this, let me just kind of back up a little bit. The colors that I have: burnt sienna, burnt umber, sap green, ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, white, cad yellow light, alizarin crimson, which is a dark red, a little on the cool side, and yellow ochre. And you're also going to need Q-tips because we're going to be Q-tipping out a lot of stuff. Now what I like to do when I'm putting my initial base colors down, when I know I'm going to be Q-tipping some colors off, and when I say that, what I'm talking about is when you Q-tip off a color, you're pulling away the color. You're not painting, you're actually just wiping away the color so that the light of the canvas creates the glow instead of using white paint. Sometimes I just leave it like that, and sometimes I have to come in with the lighter color. This just helps to create a glow that I can't get with white paint. With that being said, I want to be mindful of the colors that I'm setting down, because whatever I wipe away, that's what color is going to kind of show through. Like here I use you can see the difference. That's the burnt umber and the ultramarine blue, and then up here that's more of the burnt sienna. So you can see what a difference that makes. So I try to think about that when I'm laying these particular colors down. So again, as I'm going outward around and I want to start thinking about the background around my nest, I've done this before. I've used a yellow ochre background instead of green. I like the look and the feel, the warmth of it. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to just wipe off my brush and dip back into my burnt sienna. Just straight burnt sienna, creating a slightly lighter color just around the edge of my nest, but it's a color that I was using within the nest, so it's going to make a nice transition into the background, into that lighter yellow ochre color. So again, I'm just kind of outlining the nest here with some burnt sienna. Dry wipe my brush, and now I'm going to just go ahead and dip right into some yellow ochre. You see, big difference in the colors there, but I'm not just going to, just lay that color down. I'm just going to kind of let it blend a little bit into the nest so that maybe you can't really see where the nest ends and the background begins. Because I had it a little cooler down there, let's just go ahead and I'm going to dip into a little bit of ultramarine blue. I don't want this to get too green, so I'm probably going to just take and dip into a little bit of alizarin crimson so that I don't get such a green color when I lay the blue next to the yellow ochre. Ooh, that was a lot of blue right there. So need to stop. I don't really want that dark blue right there. I want to come back in with some alizarin crimson. Stop and go back, wipe my brush and go back to my yellow ochre. It creates more of an orangey kind of feel to it. One of the things I'm trying to get into the habit of doing, and it's a lifelong habit that I'm trying to break, so I know that I'll mess up and do the wrong thing, but one of the things that Joyce Hall, a very fabulous painter out of Charleston, taught me is holding your paintbrush. Hold it, like this. Don't hold it like a pencil. You want to hold it back like this. It helps you to be more painterly, helps you to be more deliberate with your brush strokes. Not sure I like that red down there, but I will fix that. I shouldn't have kept painting with that blue. That's another thing that Joyce taught us. She says, you lay a color down and it's not right, don't keep using it. And what did I do? I just kept on using it. Actually, I did that on purpose so I can show you how I fix that kind of mistake. Yeah, that's a ticket. I think I want this to start getting a little bit lighter. I'm going to grab a little bit of white. Maybe even some cad yellow light. I normally paint on an easel, but I thought since this was such a small picture, I would just tape it to my little table stand here, but it's making a little bit of rattling sound when I paint. That's all right. Okay, I gotta fix that red. It's just bugging me. All right, so on the color wheel, let's just go ahead and talk about color. So we have our three primary colors, which is red, yellow, and blue. So if I take red and blue, I'm going to get a purple. If I take blue and yellow, I get green. And then of course when I take red and yellow, I am going to get orange. So that's our basic color wheel, primary and secondary colors. So on the color wheel, these are the complementary colors. Green is the complement of red. So I know if I've got too much red here, short of just wiping this off and laying another color on it, I can start working in some other colors into it. So in this case, I'm just going to take some green and work that into the red. And alizarin crimson is a very powerful color. It might be that I just have to do some wiping off here in a minute. But it's not a completely bad thing to have a little bit of green in this background. Yeah. Bob Ross would call that a happy accident. I wasn't intending on putting that much green in this, but I kind of like that idea. A little impressionistic greenery there. All right, so that's my basic laydown of color, and I got to go back and cover up where I did these little sample outlines here.